Hi, my name is Arshdeep and this is a tour of my WordPress site. This tour includes voiceover as well as text, so let's get started. So the first thing you'd see on my WordPress site is my homepage, which includes a Prezi we did about our 2011 year in review as well as year goals for 2012. And it also includes 10 news articles that I did throughout the year. And at the bottom, it also includes a Prezi that we did at the start of the year about yourself. And yeah, so that's basically the homepage. And the two news articles that I found interesting were the ones about Facebook and iPhone 4S. And I found the Facebook article interesting because of the facts that were listed in there, such as right here, like the traffic it receives on major holidays, such as Halloween. People will take a picture, and that picture will be shared 1 billion times on Facebook, and as well as on major holidays, Twitter actually gets shut down because of the traffic. And this also occurs on major news events like Bin Laden's death or big sports events. And the iPhone 4S article, I found that really interesting because of it sold 4 million units in its first weekend, and that I found that to be remarkable. As well as these were two of my most well prepared articles. So yeah, and the next page we'll be moving on to is the documentaries. And the three documentaries that we saw were the one on Steve Jobs, Google, and Netflix. And while working on these three particular documentaries, I learned about a lot about the companies and the people that ran or still run the companies. We got a chance to actually monitor the significant events or moments of these successful entrepreneurs' lives. And the Steve Jobs Prezi I actually found really intriguing because we did it shortly after he passed away, and it really got to reflect on his accomplishments and the legacy he left behind on the world. And um, one major challenge I faced while working on these particular documentaries was actually processing all the information we got and presenting it via Prezi. I think there was like a lot of information while we were watching those documentaries, but we couldn't really fit it all to one Prezi. And what I would change next time is a style of my Prezis, because I actually basically used one style of Prezi. I thought this was the most effective style, but I don't think it was the most creative. I could have used more zooms or different color schemes to make it a bit more appealing. So yeah, and the next page we'll look at is the Photoshop page. And first we'll take a look at the Photoshop portfolio. These were the pictures, or actually the tutorials I followed and made. I thought this was a neat tutorial. Lightburst is just a kind of text tutorial. And this was a plate tutorial we did. It's a California license plate. It looks really authentic, so I thought that was cool. And this is one of the tutorials that we did at the start of the Photoshop unit. I think this was one of my best tutorials that I did, just because I thought it was really difficult to do and I actually accomplished it. So yeah, that was really cool. And this is just a repeat of the other tutorial. And this is also a tutorial that we did in the start of the Photoshop unit, Ghost. And this is just another text tutorial as well as this one. So yeah, these are the tutorials that I did throughout the Photoshop unit. And the Photoshop tutorial that I actually made myself is right here. So yeah, and this is what the end project would look like. Yeah. And so yeah, Photoshop tutorial while working on this, I actually learned a lot of different new effects in Photoshop. Um, it really helped me gain a lot of knowledge about different effects to create my own Photoshop tutorial. And one major challenge I faced while doing these tutorials was when the person who made the tutorial made it hard to follow, so you wouldn't really know what he's doing. You'd have to kind of play around with Photoshop yourself and actually get it. Even though that was the hard part, it actually helped you a lot because you learned more about the effects and you discovered new effects. And something I would change next time if I could was I would probably make my Photoshop tutorial a bit more difficult, or I'd challenge myself to do it, because I think after acquiring all those new skills I could have done a better job. So yeah, would have probably changed that. And the next unit, the Flash unit. So my Flash page is right here. These are just the short Flash projects we did in class, and two of them are not working for some reason right now. But if you look at my website when this video will be updated, they'll probably be there. So yeah, you can take a look at those again. And yeah, these are just simple tutorials using motion tween or shape tween that we created. And I found these really cool because it helped you gain a bit of, like, build the foundation of your knowledge for a Flash, so you can make a bigger project. And the project I actually did right here, this is my final Flash project. And my final Flash project was for an advertisement for Honda. They're like a new car, and I found this project to be really fun because this is the first time we actually got to use our skills to create a project by ourselves. And yeah, so that's it. And the Flash unit, I actually really enjoyed this unit because I liked working with software that lets you create films in particular. So I learned in this unit, I learned like different tweens such as the motion tween and shape tween, and I also learned how to utilize images and insert them into your Flash project. And one major challenge I actually faced in this was creating your own picture or object. It's easy to get an image off the internet, such as Google, and just putting in your Flash and making a shape tween and making it into something else. But actually creating your own image, that was kind of difficult, which I did in my final Flash project. The car I made it using the line tool or the circle tool, tools like that, the brush tool. And the thing I would change if I could would probably put more effort in my short Flash projects. I know they were just short Flash projects that were basically just to get you used to Flash, but I think I could have done a bit better and put a bit more detail in them. And the next page will be the Autodesk Max design. And right here, this I found this unit pretty interesting too because I like working with the software, and also because of its complexity. So these are the different tutorials that we did in the start of the class, or mini projects you could say. Snowman, and this is text, and this is my winter scene right here. And yeah, so I basically really found this program intriguing because of its complexity. You have to make sure all your objects are aligned, and like it has so many features to offer. And basically learn how to create objects in 3D, which was different from Photoshop. And I found it challenging to create your actual object because you had to make sure everything was aligned in every axis, so it actually appear as one object and not just random things everywhere. And the next time I would probably try to get more animation into my projects. If I could change it, I haven't really used any program like 3ds Max before that incorporates 3D objects and animation, but I think it would be pretty. I think it was pretty cool. So next time I'd probably add more animation. And the last page we look at is the hardware page, and the hardware page right right here. This is actually the page we did as a group, and I've really enjoyed this. unit because it taught us more about computers that I actually didn't know. So we did the CPU, the central processing unit, and yeah, I think we went into real depth with this, and I think we did a great job. And also, this is the hardware assignment. This is just a Prezi about all the different parts. So yeah, I actually learned a lot about computers. Like I didn't know before. I didn't know what a CMOS battery was or the different types of cables. So that was really interesting, and I found it challenging to remember all the different parts and especially what their function was. But I accomplished that at the end. I actually learned them by doing my hardware Prezi. And next time I would probably go in more depth with each function on the Prezi. I was really proud of this Prezi, but I think I could have done a better job explaining each function of um, a particular computer part. And yeah, so the Facebook page on my WordPress, this is the Facebook project we did as a group as well. It includes a Prezi as well as information about basically how Facebook works and what if features the features are of Facebook and its competitors. So yeah, I found this interesting too because we found a lot of interesting facts. And yeah, so that's about it. And the three projects I'm most proud of are my Photoshop tutorial, my Max Design winter scene, and my hardware Prezi. And this is because the Photoshop tutorial, um, the difficulty level of it, because I never really knew how hard it was to make a tutorial yourself. And after accomplishing that, I felt really proud of myself that I actually could do that. And I think it was a great tutorial. And the winter scene is in my top three simply because I've never used a program like 3D Max Design before, and I found it really interesting. But it was pretty difficult to make the winter scene. So yeah, and last but not least, my hardware Prezi. I really enjoyed doing the hardware Prezi because I think I used a lot of zooms and like a different color scheme to make a really good Prezi, and I really enjoyed that one, and it actually taught me a lot about computer parts. And my favorite Prezi, besides the hardware Prezi, it would have to be the Steve Jobs one because of the significance of the project. We completed the Prezi shortly after he passed away, and it made me realize what this man has accomplished and how he has forever changed the world. Steve Jobs has truly left behind a great legacy, and it also has a lot of great information about Steve Jobs. So yeah, that's my WordPress, and thanks for listening. And always, like always, have a good day.